So we will, Brian, you gonna tell me about language? Resume the meeting?
Yeah, you're just basically reconvening the meeting from last week.
Reconvene the meeting from last Friday. That's what we ended with. With our. Okay, we're back in session. Next up on the agenda is the land ordinance. Is that what it is? Land ordinance? Great.
Ordinance.
Yep. Okay, so we did present this and it has been tabled until we reconvene. The land assignment ordinance. So the land office had an approved policy that was run as a trial basis approved May 13th, 2021. Process to move this policy into an ordinance was approved and initiated March 27th, 2025 by the posting of the proposed land assignment document for public comment. The timelines for comments were shortened to allow for the membership to move forward with seeking home sites for the upcoming building season. The initial comment period concluded April 11th. Comments were compiled, incorporated, and posted April 18th to initiate the final posting before submission for approval of the ordinance for the April 25th meeting.
I want to just butt in real quick, sorry, Megan, but the public comment piece was not shortened. We kept that part at 15 days. The review, our review of that, we shortened that to make the deadline. The public still had their whole time period, so.
And land officers requesting that the White Bend of Ojibwe land assignment ordinance be approved and adopted by the RBC for immediate implementation to assist in governing our tribal home sites and to issue new home sites for the 2025 building season.
Discussion.
So Jerry, you guys reviewed the comments and then implemented some of them that were, or some of them?
Some of them, there was some that wasn't really relevant to the code, but we did summarize them. Water and sewer, roads, clearing the lots, those really aren't relevant to the code, but they are included in the summary.
Okay.
I'm asking you to join us.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So
I guess, if I may, just some of the big changes that we made are, if the land office makes a final decision on something like cancellation, then folks have a right to go to tribal court. And then after that process, then they could come to RBC.
It's kind of like the step process of
They feel
like appealing something.
right. If they feel they have been wronged by a decision to cancel their assignment, then they can.
Well, I think eventually what we're trying to put together is the Natural Resources Commission or the committee. So we don't have to come to the RBC for these decisions. You know, we follow our policies, we follow what you guys put in front of us. I think it's important that we adhere to that as council members, because we're going to agree to that. But I'm just saying that there has to be, if there's an appeal process and land department makes a call, the appeal process should fall back on the Natural Resources Commission. So Dre, I mean, is that something that we can put in there?
I think when we have that in place, we can make those changes. I think
But for now,
putting it in now.
do we change it again then? Can we put, because the Natural Resources Commission is already approved by the council. There's a resolution already out there for that, but we have to modify it. We have to, what do you call it? Update it, I guess. That's the word. Yeah, that was approved. I talked to,
a planning commission.
yeah. Monica built it and it got approved. I'm not sure when it was approved, but it was a few years ago.
So it seems weird that they would go to tribal court and then the decision is made and then come to leaders, because then why go to tribal court if you're just going to bring it to leaders after if they don't agree? You know what I mean? Because then there's that interference, and I don't know.
They're going to come
I
to us
didn't-
anyway.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the public park in there.
So that part is like section 210, I think it's on the red line version, it's on page 13. And then on the clean version,
Because I think that what Megan and the land department does, I think they give them plenty of notices. It's not like they're not notified. You know what I mean? I think the process of letting the landowner or the leaseholder know that like 3 times, I think maybe Megan does it like 6 to 8 times.
We do quite a bit, but there's clear cut timelines in the code now that allows them to, they have to be in contact with us too.
No, do you put certified mail in?
Certified mail is more for actual cancellations.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Well, I don't know.
I think it makes sense to go to the court as the next step.
You go to the tribal courts instead of the council?
Well, go to the tribal court first and then have to see what happens there. I think they'll go to you if it's not favorable to them and try to convince you, but
we don't want to overturn court decisions. That's where we have to have that clear separation of powers.
And the only instance where you might is determining, seeing how the court rules on something, if it has an unintended consequence. Maybe as the RBC have legislative authority, you could then revise your laws because of and that's just how the separation works. The tribal court's interpreting and maybe there's a consequence that the legislature did not want, and so there's a change. But not addressing an individual.
Yeah, I struggle with that, I guess.
so previously when this was in trial run, all the decisions were straight to the RBC. If they felt wronged by what land did, then they would just go straight to the RBC. So we're trying to get away from that and go to court and have a fair process that's removed from any kind of political implications. And then, leave it so that it can be like this ultimate appeal to RBC.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they could go to the Natural Resource Committee or Commission if they get that implemented versus coming to the RBC.
So,
Okay.
so one of my questions is if somebody does get their line, if they get it canceled, it's gotta come to us anyway in that meeting. We have to cancel it anyway, correct?
This allows land to make cancellations.
Without us?
Yeah, provided that they meet particular criteria.
That's okay.
And that they've provided enough notice to whoever. So when they provide the notice to whoever it is that's doing something wrong, they give them an opportunity to fix that and then go from there. The cancellation is like the last resort. Has to be this opportunity to say, hey, you're in violation of X code provision. You have blank amount of time to fix that. And then if you don't, then it elevates to cancellation at some point.
So are we gonna, now the people that are already sitting there on lots that have not done nothing with them for like years and years and years, are we giving them that opportunity too? Are we restarting that opportunity to say, okay, you haven't done anything on your lot in 5 years. Now we're gonna send you a letter and we're gonna say, okay, you've got this much to do, whatever you need to do. Are we just gonna cancel them like we intended to do earlier? We intended to basically say if you didn't do nothing with your lot and we sent compliance out there, and you didn't do nothing on your lot for 5 years, pretty much you're in violation and we're taking your lot, we're canceling your lot. Are we giving those people another chance?
Like after this passes, I would say they would get a notice that they're canceled because this does have 2 different sorts of cancellation, a cancellation by rejection and cancellation by non-compliance. Yep, and like rejection is more, if they haven't come in and signed their home site within 30 days of your approval, it's canceled by rejection because we have so many sitting out there like that. If they haven't made any improvements to the site, and this is all reliant on them communicating too. So if they're saying, hey, I need more time, there's provisions in here to give them more time too. It's just trying to get those timelines so we can get some turnover because we have a high demand for home sites and not a lot out there right now.
So this is revised, it's not a new ordinance, is it a new ordinance?
It's revised from, so it was passed as a policy and it was never actually an ordinance for the public to see. since 2021. And so we sort of springboarded off that policy and made revisions with public comments.
And no offense towards the land office, but I can drive around the reservation right now and show you 10, 15, 30 lots with water and sewer on right now that are not being, and comes with compliance. And I'm glad we can get you another compliance to be able to get that done, because I can drive down 113 right now and give you 5 lots that nobody's done in years on it, and it's got water and sewer on it. So we need to make that opportunity for those people that want to do something on their lot, want to do something, and want to put a house there, rather than spinning our wheels on these ones that are not being done. Just my 2 cents.
I'm concerned about, this is gonna bottleneck in, like, when you take stuff to court, there's a cost with it, right? You have to file, people don't have attorneys. It's gonna take your guys' time away, because you're gonna have to start going and sit in court hearings. I would recommend that we have get that Natural Resource Commission in place and have it go through that process, would be my recommendation, but.
Because a lot of them are going to be non-compliant. A lot of them bringing out.
And Megan, do you have like any type of data on how many people are not in compliance?
Not right now, because we only have the one working on it, and then when we get the other 2 in, we can get through it a lot faster.
So do you think the recommendations would be to hold off on this until we get data, or because we're gonna feel the weight, you know what I mean?
Right.
We expect something that's coming to come to us at our table, but we just need to know how many is gonna be coming at us, because the district reps are the ones that are gonna take the blunt of this, And so this is something I feel like, if we sign off on this today, what's it gonna create? Even though we want to make it more efficient, better. But I mean, this is something that, I don't know, and I asked legal again, is like, do we want to get some type of threshold on how is this gonna roll out, and how is it gonna, I mean, can we put like a provision there, say that we can approve it today, but enact it July 1?
So we probably could. The issue is, along with this ordinance is a new land assignment agreement that goes in tandem with this, changing some of the agreement terms. So if this is not approved, the question is, what do we use for the folks that are waiting for their home site assignments? Do we use the old agreement and then pass the code that changes that agreement later? So that's kind of why we wanted to shorten up that review period. So it is a big decision, but
there's a lot of families feel like when they get a piece of land from us, it's in their family forever. I know that, because remember the property that's across from the hospital, those mobile homes that are sitting up there, they felt like if anyone else would move in there, they would burn it down, I mean, so these are things, I guess, where, to be sensitive about it, and that's how deep this runs into our people, that when you get a little piece of land, that's mine. That's my land. You can't take everything away from me, because I'm a white as cat.
And that's why
But when they sign off on it, they don't realize they're signing off that if you don't build something there, we're gonna take it away from you.
Yeah, and we do convey that as much as we can to everyone. There are.
But you know what I mean, but you got like families out there that are burn shit.
Well, Chairman, the thing about it is that, I mean, I thought there was room for family trust. I actually thought there was gonna be, because I talked to Jake about it one day, because there's a lot of people out there that have fee land, and they're tired of paying taxes to Becker County. And they want to put it into trust, but they want to protect it too with their family. And I thought we could do some kind of a family trust also, to be able to do, say, a family's been on there for 50 years or whatever, their family's been, or 20 years or whatever, and they're paying taxes on it, and they're sick of paying taxes, and they want to put it in trust. They want to put it in trust for their family. So I don't know, that's just going a little bit off of this. But
That's a little bit of a different process, because that
Yeah.
would involve the Bureau.
Mhm.
It wouldn't really involve any of us. It'd have to go through the Bureau, and then they'd have to abide by the regulations.
Yeah.
The federal
Yeah.
regulations.
We could give them a lifetime lease, so the RBC has the authority to do that. And then we just lease it out to one of their relatives, wouldn't we? We don't have to get the Bureau involved.
That would be if they gave it to the tribe. If they want to put it into trust for themselves and their family, they can do that. There are regulations that allow it. somewhat difficult, but,
Oh, there's two different ways. Jake, you did talk to me about it, yeah.
you know, and then if they do give it to the tribe, they essentially tribal land. A lot of people don't want to do that because sometimes down the road, their lineage runs out where they won't have anyone eligible.
Dude, I'll sell you guys my house. You put it in trust for me. I don't like paying state taxes either.
So I do want to just briefly return to this Natural Resource Commission idea and the tribal court issue. We did not have any kind of process for that. Again, before it just said you go to RBC if you didn't like what land did and that you guys were the ultimate decision maker. And a lot of the public, or some of the comments that we received anyways, did say that they did not think that that was fair and they thought that was political. So that's part of why we thought going to court would be the next best fair forum for figuring that out, but we were not considering this Natural Resource Commission.
Would be a good idea, good approach.
Yeah.
Well, raise your hand and let's be on the commission.
Well, and that I think is I mean, it would be a clarification too, that it would be a delegation of authority to the commission to make those decisions.
We put that in the language. Right.
In the code, yeah, I think that would need to be in there and give them that power.
Just to get another one.
I know.
Already trying to get off the other two. She's on.
But I think that,
Other council members, what do they think? I don't know.
Hank and Eugene, what do you guys think?
What are we approving, the land ordinance or the updated one?
Updated, yeah.
So they're talking about the cancellation, that if a person gets a cancellation, they put a provision where it go to tribal court. The person would get to go to tribal court and then that process would play out. And then if they didn't like it, then they could still come to RBC
As the last straw.
as the last straw.
Hmm.
And my concern was that the cost, the filing fees, the time, the land office, versus if we had a natural resource commission that the person go directly to them.
Yeah. Well, I
I
know
don't
our
know.
constitution says that, like, I don't know, I assume like the lease agreements is like kind of like a contract between the enrolled member and the tribe. So like, I mean, the constitution says that any enrolled member can consult or contract with the RBC. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's always a way for them to come meet with the RBC about that issue. But I don't know. I feel like, yeah, just push it out to tribal court, let them deal with it.
They're gonna come to us either way. I think.
Should we put a provision in there then saying like you gotta exhaust all remedies of tribal court before you come to the council?
Yeah, Representative Summers, that is in there. There's two processors, that's section 210 that I pointed out. And then there's also this special waiver by RBC that we put in there as well, so that, but first they have to go through the court process and fully see that out to the end, and then they can come to RBC.
Yeah. What if there's a conflict? Like, what if it's one of our relatives that we're all related to?
I would assume that members of the RBC you're bound to your code of ethics, and whoever that person would be would excuse themselves from that particular decision.
I know, but like, I'm coming up with a hypothetical of like, if there was a person that we're all related to and then we couldn't make a decision because it'd be unethical. Would it just go back? Would it just stay in tribal court then, or is there anything in there? Because I mean, that's a likely possibility.
You guys would just decline to.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that, but on that, I would suggest that all of RBC, if all of RBC was related to this particular individual, then I would suggest that they would just decline to look at that person and let the tribal court order stand.
But it's still up to the RBC then. I'm just wondering if there's a protection in there for something like that. if that were to happen, because that probably would happen in the future.
There are only inherent conflicts of interest.
I think we would defer back to the tribal court.
Yeah,
Because I-65 says that I have to follow policy.
right.
There's nothing that I could, let's catch it early when they're appealing it, and maybe we could, I don't know, put another time period.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. What about if we would send them to the commission for the appeal process first? And then if they had a dispute regarding that, bring it to tribal court be final?
I think so. That could be a first step before the court.
To be honest, they're gonna come to us anyway.
What if they came to you first and then you referred them to the commission then?
Exactly. That's what's gonna happen. I guarantee that's gonna happen.
I gotta follow policy.
Yeah, so the commission, I don't know, the commission would probably be able to push this out faster than a tribal court would be able to.
Right, that's what I was saying too, because it's gonna bottleneck, and then our staff has to go to court, and things get drug out in tribal court, any court, not just tribal court, in my opinion. That was my concern, but.
Or do we just set up a court just for land? It might be
Well,
something.
there's authorization to do the Natural Resource Commission, it just hasn't been set up yet.
Oh, okay.
We just have to set it up.
We have everything to do it.
Monica?
Jess will figure it out.
Yesterday.
Okay,
So there is, it's there.
but it needs to be
What
updated.
was that yesterday?
Monica sent it, I believe.
We send it to Drake,
Yeah, I haven't reviewed that stuff yet, I think.
but we'll have time to officially get that caught, so.
So if we don't pass it today, we'll go back to the old policy?
I
Is that what we're
suppose,
saying?
yeah, we'll go back to the old
Sounds like-
policy and the old agreements,
Old
which are
agreements.
causing a lot of, mix up on the cancellation process, and that's kind of why we're here to begin with.
Yes.
We have all this mix up with the cancellation process, we're trying to clean that up. If
Megan?
we don't pass this now, then the old assignment,
So
we
the-
delay everyone until we make a decision.
So the present ordinance comes to us and we're the final say on the cancellation
After
right.
the court process.
after the court.
Yeah.
process.
Do we have to repost it with the Natural Resource Commission in there?
Probably. I mean, if it's a new part of the process that the public, it would be up to you guys to determine that. I mean, I would say, why not? If you want the public to weigh in on it and it's for the benefit of the public, I think, yeah, have
So
them.
the commission's not in the ordinance right now.
Correct.
So if we put it in there, I think it's what he's asking.
Yeah, that's what I was just
We have
saying.
to
I would
repost.
suggest that it goes back out for public comment again.
Another 15 days, is it?
Anyway,
And
we
then
can
for
do
the
that.
next RBC meeting and at the end of May.
Hopefully by then we'll have a commission up and going.
Is that help?
And we can just approve it with them amendments, huh? Yeah, I suppose we could, but,
Honor.
Oh, you're waiting to the,
because it's building season.
And
Bring it
that's-
to them in this month.
and you're making them wait for another month.
Well, that and if we keep doing more
We just approve
approve
it
it with the natural resource part in there, double language question.
It's also 15 days?
Yeah, you can. I would think. We can make that amendment. So just to be clear, it would be step 1, go to the Natural Resource Commission. Step 2, if you didn't like that, go to court. And then step 3, RBC. No step 3.
No steps in yet.
I thought step 1 has to go to them and then they refer to.
No.
I'm just,
Just in case.
I was saying they're gonna come to us anyway.
Okay.
We're gonna refer them.
So 1, Natural Resource Commission, 2, court, and then that's it. Okay. We can make those changes.
Hank, Eugene, you guys okay with that?
Are we calling for a vote or what?
No. Just asking if you're okay with it. Before we vote on it. Have to, don't we? Andrew? There's a resolution here, isn't there?
Right, but you're not approving like what was provided, or it needs to be amended, so.
Unless we wanted to approve it that way too, but.
If they say they got 20 waiting in the wings, they said so.
I mean, we could approve it and implement it, I don't know, ASAP or how you want to do it, Megan.
I don't know if you can approve with the changes I just suggested, and then.
Because we gotta do the public, we gotta do the public comment period first.
Not necessarily.
No,
Yeah, it's suggested. I mean, you guys don't necessarily have to do it because it has been put out for public comment, and this is just the discussion phase of what was gathered from the public and your guys' like input on it. Like, so you're not technically part of the public, but implementing and thinking about it. I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but you know, for transparency purposes, it was already put out for public comment, so it doesn't seem like there would be any difference as to why you wouldn't put this part out as well. But I mean, it's up to you guys, so you're the decision makers. So if you don't want to put it out for public comment again, but otherwise just adopt it with those modifications of the Natural Resources Commission, then you certainly can do that as well.
Representative Fox and Summers, I was just asking if any more comments. That's it. I didn't ask for. You have 20 waiting in the wings right now.
28.
28.
28 of them waiting in the wings that if we don't do this
And we have
today,
more in the office, so next meeting will be.
there'll be more.
Yeah.
I didn't say approve it today with the changes.
I would say too.
You guys good with
A
that?
short window for building season and people to get.
Henry, Eugene?
So I have just a quick question for you guys. So right now, if they don't like land's final decision, they have 14 days to appeal it to court. But would we change that to 14 days to go to the commission? And then if you don't like the commission, another 14 days to appeal to court?
Legal?
That'd be fine. Should be fine.
Those are decisions that we're asking of you. I mean, I don't think we have any input on how long the timeline
Is
is.
it 14 business days or 14 just
Calendar
regular
days.
Calendar days?
Yeah, so 2
I'm fine
weeks.
with that.
You good?
I have to.
Okay.
Do you want to have a timeline in which the commission needs to make a decision?
What's the usual appeal process in the policy for 7 days for the commission? 5 days or 7 days? In the personnel.
No, when somebody does appeal, it's 555, remember?
So is it in
I don't know. It's been a while since they looked at it.
So 14, they have 14 days to appeal it to the commission. We're asking how much time are we gonna give the commission to make a decision? 5 days?
5 business days?
5 business days?
That's all it is, I have it for employee.
I'll give them 72 days. Lauren. Five?
With that.
5 business days?
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be section 2.
Well, you want it clear on the record.
Okay, so just
How
to
many
be
days for
clear,
the court to make a
to
decision?
appeal, if they don't like the Natural Resource Commission, 14
Then they
days.
go to court, then how many days for the court to make a decision? We can't tell them.
Yeah, I don't
We
think
can't
we
tell
can
them.
decide that.
We gotta.
Because they could
we have
appeal to
resolution saying we
trial
can't do that.
all the way. So just to be clear for meeting minutes, we're modifying section 210, their right to appeal final decisions in the land office with these changes. And then as we're talking about it, I caught a typo. There's 2 sections, 210. So the one that says modifications should be section 211. I'll also make that change. And then from there on, count up. I'm looking at page 12 of the clean version of the code. And I have one more question for RBC is the section 111 has this special waiver piece for RBC to make accommodations to the code after folks have gone through the process to appeal a decision. Do you want to keep that in there?
Say that again.
There's a special waiver provision, section 111, page 6, where after, as it's written now, it's after they go to court. So I'd modify that to say after they go to the commission and then to court, give RBC the authority, or retain the authority rather, to grant a special waiver for something.
Is that up?
Page 6 of the clean version, section 111.
I don't have 6 in it. Got me there. Find 7 in my packet.
Are you missing it?
Did you say page 6?
Yeah,
Oh.
the bottom of 111.
So the Whitehorse RBC reserves the right to provide exceptions via written waiver to this ordinance. Is it that one?
Yep.
Written waiver to the ordinance. After judicial review was exhausted. So you're just, you're gonna amend that, right? You said?
Yeah, clarifying, well, one, I would amend it to say the commission first, then court, and then keep it, I'm clarifying if you guys want to keep that in there, or,
I guess we just talked, at least we just talked about it, that we didn't want that, that we didn't want that. So I get out of it, you know,
Okay.
because if we have the resolution that, because if the court makes a decision, we can't change the decision, correct? That resolution?
That's the way I interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea said, we are the legislators, we could, but
you
that's an
just have to modify the
RBC.
code again. Okay,
That'd be RBC decision, but I'd just say court is final then.
okay, so I was just gonna remove section 111 then. That's what we want.
I'm good with
I'm
that.
okay with it too.
Representative Summers and Fox.
I'm trying to look at it on my phone here. I'm just gonna stay silent because I think they'll pass without me, so.
Representative Fox.
Any questions? I know we're doing another meeting too, so. We're gonna call for a vote for this one.
Changes?
All right, motion to approve the land ordinances with the change.
Motion.
Motion by Mike LaRock,
I'll second.
second by Lori Lee. All in favor?
Aye.
Silent.
Henry, can you hear us? Henry. Veronica, if he doesn't respond, he's gonna be a silent.
I would just note it as a silent.
Henry. Ordinance is silent. Motion carries. All right, next up is lease.
So want to go into executive session.
Oh, motion to go into executive session.
A motion to go into executive session.
Motion by Lori Lee. Second by Mike LaRock. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna stay silent. The notice I got said we're going to meet at 2 p.m. So I don't know if there's ever correction made at that or what.
Representative Summers. There's a special meeting that was called for 2 p.m. today. The meeting we are currently in is the resumed meeting from last Friday.
Okay, I'm confused then. 'Cause I thought we were just gonna resume our last quarterly meeting. I thought that's what we were doing now.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, and then we're going to, oh, so this is a special executive meeting at 2, so it's a total separate meeting?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm confused now. So we're going into executive session for our regular RBC meeting now, our quarterly meeting.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just need to know what agenda to look at.
Number 10, we're on executive session agenda.
We got 2 yeses. Eugene, so we're resuming it.
I only have the meeting packet for the special meeting later today. Are we using the old packet then from last week?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta look that up then.